Potheads, and welcome to The League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
We are all here, baby!
Hey.
Here with babies.
Hey.
Hey, except
Not literally. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Baby's upstairs. Baby's not included, at least for now.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe
She wasn't included last time. We had to bring her downstairs either.
Man, I will say, listening to the Nyla episode and hearing her, like, hiccuping and shit was pretty fucking cute.
It was pretty cute. Yeah, she was adorable. That will be, in memory forever.
Immortalized.
Immortalized, that was words. I made it sound like she died.
She's fine, y'all.
Yeah, she's fine. Anyway, today we're talking about The Boy and His Yeti, Nunu Willump. Oh my god, I didn't write down when he was released. I'm out of practice. It's been, a month and a half, and I can't fucking do it.
I mean, are we talking about, like,
guess
actual
2009.
release? Or
course.
because he was one of the original trailer
is he?
ones.
Yeah,
He was
I'm gonna
actually
guess it
featured. He's one of the 3 specifically called out in the original trailer.
Okay, so give me the date, y'all.
2000.
No, the date. The date.
2000.
The day. The whole day.
what do they normally when they're really old?
February 21st, 2009.
Yes.
Nice. I had the date.
I knew that.
You're right.
Now I'm curious when his rework was.
That is the better question, really.
That's a good question.
Because that's
Which
the actual
one?
release date.
Right, he's so different. I'm trying to even remember what old Nunu did.
I remember.
His
I was
ult
thinking
was
about
the
this.
same.
I was
All
thinking
right.
about this.
So he had Blood Boil,
Yes.
which would, give you extra AD and attack speed. That's why everyone took him bot lane support for a time.
That was so funny when he was just like, it was Nunu Caitlyn. That was, I think, the first time I saw Caitlyn get played like in pro play and stuff like that. It was because of Nunu.
His ult was the same. His
same ult.
consume was basically the same. And
snowball. You had a click and point snowball, right? He would just run by and throw a little snowball at you. Right?
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
it was it would fall. It was like it wasn't targeted or anything. You just click and it would follow him. It was pretty slow moving actually, but it was.
God damn,
you
I
couldn't get
remember
away
this.
with it because
No.
it was a point and click.
No one fucking used that apparently.
It was
I
pretty
mean, I remember
good.
like little.
It was really good
drive-bys.
for under tower harass. You could walk up, throw the snowball, and you could walk away well before it hit.
I need to
You
see
could like
a
make
video
a
of
fucking
this.
sandwich with how slow that fucking thing went out.
It's like when you're got the Morgana binding on
It
you.
moved basically as slow as the Anivia Q, except it couldn't miss. So
That's so funny.
You know what? It's
it looks like
thematic.
his rework was 2018. Sorry.
So what does Nunu sound like, y'all?
All right.
I think this is the hardest impression that we will have done so far. Maybe we'll ever
Well,
do.
for you.
Oh shit.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I don't know because it's a child, right? It's like an an
Yeah.
actual child voice actor.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be good, but I'm a glass and a half deep, y'all. I don't care.
And everyone says I sound like a child anyway, so
That's
I'm
true. Or
I've
a
been
woman.
preparing my whole life for this.
Everyone thinks that you're Rebecca
Yeah.
on the phone, especially when you call for our daughter anywhere and like, oh, are you the mother? Oh, you're the mother, right?
No matter how many
No
times I
matter how many
correct them.
times. But anyway, I'll give you my favorite Nunu quote. I'll save you, Willump. I'll save you.
That's your favorite? You fucking psychopath.
No, it's not. It's the most devastating shit. I hate it so much every time I'm playing fucking League against Nunu. I don't want to kill the motherfucking kid because he cries about his dead-ass Yeti. Riot. Stop it.
I have a fun fact about that at the end.
Oh, yay.
Well, maybe you should kill him and then he won't cry about the Yeti, right? Like you can save him the.
You're like, hey, you have to join your dead Yeti friend, Nunu.
You'll see him in the afterlife. All right, the one I have is, we'll always win because we have something to fight for. Not princesses. Gross. Ooh.
I wish I listened to more of his quotes. I just did the one that I know because I'm just so good at League, I'm like constantly
right.
killing people left,
Right.
right, center, Nunu dead.
Hell.
I'll save you, Willump. You bitch.
That's what people say about you.
Anyway, go ahead, John.
Lord Crompulus, Kevin Ribbington of Croatsworth, your unjust reign ends here.
Jesus Christ.
I love it.
You sounded more like you were like a yordle. Like Timo found some cocaine. That's kind of what that impression was.
Mm-hmm.
That was not an insult. That was 100% a compliment. Did it sound like a compliment? Missed y'all. All right, on the Riot Universe page, Nunu has a bio, and 3 short stories are linked, although one of them is Lysandra's story. But they cross paths once, so they're like, we got to put this on Nunu's
Close
page.
enough.
Yeah.
It says Yeti.
It's not like
in
he's
there
lacking
once.
in short stories.
Yeah, I know.
So this bio is by David Slagle, who also
Okay.
does all the short stories. So
I'm gonna say
kept it
everything.
consistent.
It's legal.
Okay. He got that.
Slagle had some stakes in Nunu.
Yeah, apparently.
Wasn't a joke. I was just saying. It wasn't a play on words. You looked at me like you didn't get it. It wasn't a joke.
I was like, do I not know things about steaks? I'm like, I thought I knew. Is that a type of steak? Filet mignon had some steaks in it.
Flamin' you knew.
Man, y'all are fucked up over there. What is happening?
Honestly, we're not even. I think we just missed this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's been nice.
I'm with a baby all day. She doesn't get my jokes. I tell him anyway.
We make him anyway.
Yeah.
The jokes we tell.
But then she just goes, and that's it.
So, who's got the recap on the bio?
I don't, but I could.
I have notes for
I could
everything.
put it.
But
Oh
you
my
should do it. If
god!
you feel
Look
like
at
you got
Mark.
it, you should do it. Because I got notes on the 2.
Ooh, I read all this at like 5 in the morning while holding my baby and barely awake.
You don't
Okay.
need a bio on the Legend of the Frozen Watchers, then? Or
Let me try the bio.
Okay,
Don't
okay.
sign me up
Yeah,
for so
I
much,
think you got
John.
it.
Calm down.
Go for it.
All right, Nunu was a normal little boy in the Freljord.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I know. I wasn't making it up. That's all I remember about it now. He would hang out with his mother, his mommy, Leica. Did you write that down?
I did, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks.
I got you.
Just looking
I
at
got
those
the name of the
notes.
tribe for you, too.
Oh, the
Just-
no tie. Yes. I don't know. They traveled around a lot. I never figured out why. Do we know why they travel around a lot and sing songs?
She like
They're following
like-
Anivia's
yeah,
heart
she kind of
song.
even goes
Okay.
into it. Like that's like the that's like
Yes.
everything she talks about in the whole Rose
I
and
know.
Heart stuff.
I wasn't sure. Like, did she mean that? You know?
How metaphoric is she being, you know?
Honestly,
It's a fair
John, that's
point.
it. How metaphorical was
I
she
do
being?
actually have a note that, not for this one, but in another story that's mostly Leica talking, that she's high as fuck. So it is kind of hard to tell, but yeah.
Okay. So from what I remember, like whatever, they're following Nivea's heart song, Mommy sings or whatever, they get separated during like a storm or a battle. One of the two. It's the Freljord.
Yeah, their caravan was attacked.
Oh, that's right. They got attacked. Right. Nunu ends up, he's saved by Lysandra's people, right? Yeah.
Who it never says, but we're pretty sure they were the ones attacking, right? Like,
Oh, that makes
I
sense.
I actually didn't pick that up.
I
Well,
didn't
it's a
think
good
that, yeah.
question.
because
right?
like we know that Lysandra knows what Nunu has in his head. We know that Lysandra is probably aware that she's not going to get the information about the Yetis out of his mom. So my take on it was that she probably orchestrated the attack and was like, "Nah, I'm going to get this fucking song out of this kid so we can clear up the Nunus or clear up the Yetis too, because they're one of the few surviving people that remember all that shit that she's trying to bury."
You know, that's a very interesting perspective that never entered my brain, I will say. I do think it is a question around what do they call them? There's like the Foundling Village, which is where he goes and lives with the Frost Guard, as to whether like their purposes are actually altruistic, because they save a bunch of other kids too, right? Or whether they're just trying to like cultivate more people to be Frost Guard, like a cult kind of, you know?
Yeah.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
So I assumed maybe it was something like that, like, oh, these people were attacked and we can just take advantage of the situation. And Nunu happened to be someone who she could use, like, in this unique way. But
Yeah,
it's a good
I
question.
could see that. He was kind of taken to be brainwashed, but then Lysandra is realizing that he knows stuff about these Yetis
The only-
later.
yeah. Which would make sense. I feel like the only reason that I would assume foul play is because of all of her dream walking shit. Like
That's
she
fair.
probably
Yeah.
knows
That's
very
fair.
well what she knows before they meet.
Yeah.
And like, what are the odds that the Frost Guard happened to show up? I mean, they could have orchestrated it, but just with the intention of taking children, right? Which is a pretty evil witch thing to do. So I kind of like it.
That's true. Hey, you do what you got to do to save the world, you know?
Sure. That is
Sure.
Lysandra, the true hero of League of Legends, the true hero of Runeterra. Anyway, he does meet Lysandra at some point. They bring that up because she seems very interested in his songs, particularly the one about the Yetis. This is kind of from like Nunu's point of view a little bit.
Yeah, which I liked.
Yeah, it's sweet. So he's kind of naive about the things that are going on and who's good and who's evil around him. He does. Why does he leave? I don't remember that part.
I think because he wanted to be a hero, basically. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, he wants to find his mom, right? Like that's the thing is it's been like months past where he's separated from her, and the Frost Guard won't let him go out. But he thinks kind of like, oh, if I can prove that I'm a hero, I'll get there. Even as like he'll get their help. He thinks he can convince them because he's like an 8-year-old. He doesn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which it's very adorable to hear his descriptions of like Lysandra too,
Yeah.
because we're hearing this story through like the eyes of a very naive, innocent 8-year-old who's like, I want to make mommy Lysandra proud.
That's what I call her too.
Yeah.
Ah! You always like kind of like do a weird karate sound with her. It's an angry yell. You're always like, "Hi-ya!" Like it's not like Lee Sin, John.
Like
Hi-ya! She's angry. She's pissed. She's throwing ice at people's eyes.
that's true.
Or something.
right in the eyes.
Right
Right in the eyes. Puck ice. But anyway, we then kind of go to Willump's point of view a little bit. He's in a dark place, Willump. He's listening to a lot of Evanescence. He's not doing well. And then he kills a lot of humans because he sees like the dark, ideas they have or how they're going to use Yetis and stuff like that. But then Nunu comes along and he's like, I'm going to kill this fucking kid. And then he realizes that the kid's just like this sweet little innocent kid. And then they have a snowball fight and now they're besties.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of roaming around together now. Nunu wants to find his mother.
Yeah. And the Yetis are like, so the Yetis are magical, and it's kind of implied that like their form takes, like they take the form of like the minds of the people around them. So like when the other humans came and were like, oh, we're gonna destroy shit, like he took the form of a monster and fucking wrecked him.
Yeah.
But then Nunu came along and now he's an adorable like four-armed Yeti Stitch.
Yeah, his appearance did like physically change once he started to like
There's a word in there. There's a word in that brain.
Oh my god, what's the word? Bond.
Oh.
I started to
I had no idea what fucking thing you were gonna say. It was not that.
Right? It was a mystery to me.
once I started to fucking usefully all work. I'm not even pregnant anymore. I can't blame the brain.
No, this is baby brain now.
Now it's the
Hold on.
I've been up since 4 a.m. brain.
Yeah, fucking I tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a really cool idea, actually. That's because it's like specifically the Frost Guard, even who have been going out and trying to get this. Because that's the other big thing is that he's like the only Yeti left who's got all this power, and it's like in this gem, and it's like super. It's like a super big fucking deal, and so that's why like the Frost Guard have been trying to go get it, and they come and they make him a monster, and then I guess the other big thing is that because he bonds with Nunu. He like puts his magic inside Nunu, and Nunu's like maybe like fucking Luke Skywalker of the entire Freljord now.
Yeah.
I love that. I also read about the flute. Nunu had a flute that his mother gave him. It broke. Who broke it? Did Willump break it back?
Yeah, Willump
Willump
accidentally
broke
broke
it.
it. when they
You
were
almost
having
called him
a little-
Nunu.
I did almost call him Nunu.
That's gonna happen this whole episode.
It is.
For sure is.
Yeah, they're having a snowball fight.
And Willump broke
Willump
it.
accidentally broke it.
But then he repaired it with true ice, and now it's like made of true ice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like the power that Nunu now has apparently is like shit he imagines becomes like manifests. So he's like imagines his flute getting fixed, and it is fixed, right? It's so he's got some fucking power. I was very surprised to hit that.
I feel
point,
like this was an episode of Supernatural. That there was a kid who imagined things and then they happened. I'm sure we've got some Supernatural fans who can.
Sammy, you gotta stop snowball fighting. Dad wouldn't want this.
Sam. Sammy. Sarah told me she's been rewatching Supernatural. We've been watching.
Yeah, we've been rewatching. I say rewatching. We've been watching it. We're into season 2, so we're pretty late.
Oh,
right. The golden
damn!
era.
You'll get to that episode. I think I dropped it at like season 8 or something. At some point, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I mean, I saw it at 15. I was like, it's gotta not be good eventually.
Oh no! You'll at some point you'll come to peace with it, Mark. You'll be like, you know what? I'm done. This was it.
I got what I needed
I
out
got
of
what
it.
I needed out of Supernatural. Oh,
That's
now I want to
cool.
go back and watch those old seasons though. They were fucking great.
Unrelated, but I feel like if what I imagined as a child came true in real life, I'd be
a horror
fucked.
fest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big fucking thing. That was the thing that caught me the most off guard with all of this, was like this weird gem, because it's like a gem. Like, I don't know, he's got a mana gem or some shit that he just puts
He's got the heart of the
inside.
ocean from Titanic.
Man. But yeah, it was kind of wild to me that, like, I guess they needed to have him to have some magic powers, but he's like the chosen one of the Freljord now. Like, that's what Willump kind of sees. It's like, oh, this power that I've been kind of guarding, this is the one.
Right?
Bloop.
That Lysandra wants, and let's not forget that, like, Lysandra's not one of, like, the current 3 people. She's one of the original 3 queens of, like, the Freljord. Like, she's an ancient being who almost brought upon the apocalypse. And she wants this shit, and she can't get it. And, well, now Nunu's got it.
I honestly, I can't wait to see Lysandra in the game, the Nunu game. She's
I
got to be
know.
in it, right?
She is. It's
She is,
confirmed.
yeah.
She's in the cinematic.
Yeah.
I love her, and I can't wait to see her.
I can't wait for that fucking game in general.
I know. It's
I know.
supposed to be this year, according to the website. They still don't have, like,
Okay.
a month, but it still says 2022.
Maybe post Worlds. That's my hope.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
Honestly, I believe if they still say it's 2022, I kind of believe them because it'll just drop one day.
Yeah,
We'll wake
that's
up and they'll
true.
be like, "Hey, game's out." Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't
that'll
have a
be
lot
a great
of
winter
fanfare.
game.
They just
Oh, God.
do it. Oh, yeah.
It'll be a Christmas drop. Yay!
So good. And then
We
we'll have
really
to do an
just-
episode on it.
Yeah, we've really just gotten our hopes up though.
Yeah, I like to. So Nunu was around when all this Watcher shit went down.
Yeah.
I mean, Willump.
But God damn it.
The big hairy fucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the big one, the with
Big
forearms.
Nunu.
Big
I
Nunu.
thought you meant like he had
Big
four. I'm
hairy
like, I
Nunu.
think Nunu has 4 arms, John. I forgot that he's got 4 arms.
So Willump was around when all this shit went down, and I love that, like, he knows what the future holds. Like, he's kind of like, yeah, I mean, the Watchers are coming back, and it might be this magic that's needed to save them, but also, like, we do need to stop for an occasional snowball fight, right?
He knows how to live life, you know?
Yeah, Willump's got a lot. He has a lot going on in there. I was kind of surprised
Yeah.
that both in this and in the other story, he gets internal, like, monologues. Like, I was very surprised. I expected he would be kind of like a Chewbacca, where you would never ever actually get the literal of what he's thinking or saying, but that happens twice. So I'm interested in that.
I don't know. I think in the Star Wars holiday special, I really get great insight on what Chewbacca is thinking.
Mama Baka, fucking Stay Lumpy, and all them.
I wish we'd never seen that because that'd be a great Patreon episode. Is us reacting to the Star Wars holiday special.
Well, I've never
We'd
seen
have
it.
to watch the whole thing.
I'm fine with that.
I've only seen highlights.
Yeah, I've seen
Or
a clip
low
or
lights,
two.
I guess you'd call them.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's the bio.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we've got
Where are we starting with
3
the
short stories.
Short stories.
I mean, Legend of the Frozen Watchers. We covered that with Lysandra, and Nunu and Willump don't really make an appearance here. Basically, this is just the story of how Lysandra sacrificed her sisters and their armies to seal up the Watchers. The main reason it's linked here is because she mentioned specifically in the story that she can count on one hand the number of people who knew the truth of that day. And since all of Willump's people had their magic stripped to power the spell, he's one of the ones who remembers. So that's why he's mentioned here, although it is specifically mentioned that there are things even he forgot over time. So who knows what specifics are still in there.
Probably mathematics. I think he forgot algebra.
Shit. That is something that they do mention in the bio, too, is that all the other Yeti, because there are other Yeti, but since their magic has been drained, they're like, he just says that they have descended into savagery, which I don't know what that means.
It makes me think that they're just like,
Monsters.
you know, kind of like a typical Yeti that you would
Yeah,
expect,
like an
just like
animal.
roar type shit.
Oh, wow.
You know, roar.
I'll do it now.
Like,
Again.
you know, like the one you see on the Matterhorn at Disney or some shit like that. They're just out to kill.
Sure, you nerd.
Yeah. That's kind of what I assumed, too. I thought that was another interesting idea. The Yeti in general are kind of cool. They're more interesting than, like, OG Nunu, where they were just, like, Matterhorn Yetis. Right?
Yeah.
So, or Yeti. I guess Yeti is plural.
Although I guess
Whatever.
they weren't technically, because they were making treaties and shit back then.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also I forgot about that shit. Well, all right. You want to dive into Frozen Hearts?
Yeah. Freeze my
Sure.
heart, Mark.
Sure. So this one is just a conversation between Nunu and Lake. I wrote Lake, but that's not the Lake. Okay,
Yeah, it's
I misspelled
Laika.
her
His
name.
mother, Lake.
But she's kind of explaining to Nunu why it is they do what they do, and how the Noida, they're kind of like they're like traveling kind of bards. Like that's what their tribe is. They go around from town to town and they sing and they dance and they kind of spread joy and they celebrate with people, and they sort of kind of herald the coming of winter too. So some people don't like them because it's like, oh, those assholes are here. It's about to get fucking snowy.
It's like poor Anivia when she shows up. They're like, oh, God damn it. You're
Right.
beautiful and all, but now something horrible's about to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's even something she kind of addresses, is that, like, well, Anivia isn't this portent of doom. She's actually, like, this portent of, like, freedom and et cetera. And she's kind of talking about how, like, what they do is they bind all the disparate people of the Freljord together with passion. And she's kind of playing these different, I guess, notes. It doesn't, like, say literally what she's doing, but it sounds like she's, like, playing a note or a certain song to Nunu. And they kind of are speaking about the different tribes and how and like the problems that they all have. Now, like, the Avarosans are kind of like, they're like stuck. They're really like afraid to not do anything that doesn't fall super in line with the Avarosa legend. Or like the Winter's Claw are like kind of stuck in the old ways, and the Frostguard are like, they like worship their secrets, and they kind of use the threat of what they know and what other people don't to rule. And she's kind of also, like, in a almost parent way, trying to instill in Nunu, like, freedom and imagination, and, like, encourage him to be a storyteller. And she's like, well, we could do anything as long as you can imagine it. Like, that could be what happens. So what happens next? And he's kind of like starts telling the story about him and her visiting the top of the world. And she kind of gives him this reminder that, you know, home is where you're by my side, which will be relevant when we get to the little awesome fucking Community song. But that's mostly it. It's just them talking back and forth, and it's pretty short.
Yeah.
It was very good. I loved. So, like, Laika is talking about some really heavy shit.
And this kid's like 6 years old.
Nunu keeps interrupting with this dumb kid stuff.
Honestly, he seems younger than 6 even, but yeah, it's constant.
And she just soldiers on, not stopping for a second for, like, any levity or anything, or realizing that he's probably not picking up any of what she's putting down. And I have one example here. So this is Laika. But the song binds them together like this. This is the sound of the chains tying wolf ships to Glazerport and Winter's Claw to the past, the old ways, blood in the snow. They live their lives on shattered ice. They think it is in their might that cracks a path to sea, the wolf ships prowling through, but it is not strong to cling to chains and demand that others carry them as well. And then Nunu's like, I remember the wolf ships, Mom. They's made out of wood, not wolves. The Winter's Claw don't know how to name things.
I loved his interjections. Where she's talking about like the Avarosans, and he calls them like the Avarosinians, and she has to correct him. He's like, Avarosans.
Yeah.
Hey, shut up, idiot. Avaros.
No, she's so
Mommy's
patient.
talking.
Yeah. Or even like the story he's telling. He starts telling the story, and he's talking about how like Kona, which I guess is their elk here, like starts flying from wings that grew out of her butt. Like that's such like a little 5-year-old little boy thing to say. It's like, I've got wings in her butt.
That's what's just sad is that John would say that as well.
I mean, I calls it like I sees it.
I also like this bottom note you have at the page. Leica seems cool and all, but she's definitely high as shit.
It's true.
With wings coming out of her butt.
Also, the first thing, the first interjection I feel like Nunu does is,
Yeah.
Elker smells like deucicles.
Deucicles. Yeah, that's a good one.
Also, at one point, she calls him her grimace-ling,
Yeah.
and all I could think of was McDonald's.
Good night, man.
What a nickname.
And there's another part where she asks if Nunu knows what passion is. And he says, is it when the barbarian kisses the war mother? Which sounds to me like he's been reading some like fanfic smut.
He found like her romance novels.
Right? Her Avaros and Harley Quinn novel.
Yo, I would read those though.
Sure. And then she's like, yeah, sometimes. And sometimes the war mother kisses the barbarian. Like, I don't know. I like
Right?
I like
Just
her in
powers
this,
on.
right? That's the thing is she does come off like a parent talking to it. Like every now and then she'll like have an affectation where she's like, Anivia comes in on her wings with ice. Brrr, you know, like she's telling a story, and I like that. Her voice like is like a storyteller, and that's why it's kind of written in this flowery kind of way almost, you know?
Yeah. Why can't she be my mommy?
She's
I
lost,
want to cuddle
man.
up by the fire and listen to her stories. And she can compare me to Grimace. I like Grimace.
You'll eat some
sounds.
chicken nuggets.
I am more like the Hamburglar if I'm Hamburglaring. Is that what you'd call me? That's just what the Hamburglar does.
That's what he's charged with when he's finally brought to heel.
You've been found guilty of Hamburglaring. We can't take breaks anymore.
No, fucks us up. Oh man.
Anyway, what other story was there?
The other one's like
It's Stone Cold by
Steve
this one's by
Austin.
Steve Austin.
Damn it, I'm sorry, Sean. You have the
YouTube.
joke written down.
I did. I wrote down the joke and you stole it anyway.
I didn't even see it. I didn't see that you had written it down. What am I supposed to say when you say the word stone cold, John? I'm a millennial. I say Steve Austin automatically.
I understand. I even wrote afterwards. Just kidding, little jokey joke. So that you'd know it was a joke.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I like getting the insight into the notes because like I can't see them.
No.
This one's
Brr.
by David Slagle.
Live with the stakes.
Oh shit. All right. I got notes on this one. I don't have to remember.
Thank
They're
you.
right here. So Nunu wakes up because he hears. This is like the one thing that confuses me the most about this story is he hears his mom's heart song. Like he just hears like some song of hers that's just playing on the wind. I don't know because he's trying to follow her, right? And it seems like if they go to places she's sung about or been, I don't know. That's how they'll find her. Whatever. Anyway, he and Willump follow it, and they get to a village called Nalyeg. Nalia.
No,
Nalia.
perfect. Just keep going.
Sure. Yeah. It's the Yeti word for stone. And Nunu's like, that can't be its name. How would anyone know how to spell that? Anyway. But everything there is stone, including the plants, including the ropes, and including the people. And Nunu realizes it's a curse, and he tries to solve it in a number of ways. He has Willump kiss one of the stones, because that worked one time. He tries using prayers that Lysandra taught him. He makes a big dragon out of snow to try and scare the curse away, and even tries to get the sun to come thaw things, pull it down the way Brahm did. But his arms are not long enough. So it then kind of cuts to it cuts to Willump's perspective. And Willump is a lot more dour and a little melodramatic. And they've spotted out there's a Krug nest that's at the top of this frozen waterfall. And they can't stop the curse, but they can at least do something for the village. So they make a big snowball, they slam it into the Krug dam, and it unblocks the river. And Nunu's, his hope is kind of channeled through that magic that he's got in him. And it doesn't lift the curse, everything's still stone. But it does wash away, like the water that's flowing, washes away some of the stone flowers and stuff, and new ones sort of spring up. So new life is kind of blossoming there. And then they have a snowball fight because it's been a long day, and Willump at the end of it does kind of hear that song playing as well. And there's a little bit at the end that's written as if it's lyrics or a poem. I think it's supposed to be lyrics, as if this was a place that maybe she had sung of. So I guess they're on the right track.
I could not stop thinking of Frozen 2 when they kept describing this song on the wind.
How does that go again?
The problem is, whenever I try to think about it, I hear...
Are you hearing the same thing I hear?
The League song.
Oh, no.
I hear that,
I hear...
No, I don't hear that one.
No.
I hear that Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah.
No, I hear that League song. I think it's Worlds Collide. That's what I hear every time.
I don't even know. So when you say Frozen 2, are you saying Frozen
There's
TWO?
Yeah, the second Frozen.
Okay, because I haven't seen either.
Movie.
So I don't know why I'm asking,
there's
but...
one
great.
one 4-note stinger that she hears throughout the whole movie that is the catalyst for everything in the movie. I'm looking it up.
I can't remember what it was called now.
It was Into
Is
the
that the
Unknown.
one-
It starts.
Is Worlds Collide... That's not the one where, the login screen was Pantheon smiting, Red Buff? Is that... No, never mind. Don't worry
That's
about
right.
it. I'm just...
Sorry.
Pantheon smiting red buff.
It was
Okay.
See, it's very close to the Worlds Collide bit.
Sure.
That's Worlds Collide.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
Man, they're real close.
Anyway, Frozen's
Anywho.
really great.
So that's what I was thinking of every time they mentioned the song, but then I thought of that double when they got to the rock troll village, and I was like, this is just Frozen. You can't fool me.
Yeah.
Also, I know you mentioned the whole thing where they tried kissing the statue to because they thought maybe that would cure it. I liked the quote here. I remember one song, a myth about how Avarosa healed the turtle that carries the sea by giving it a big kiss. But I don't want my first kiss to be a statue. I make Willump kiss him just in case.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah,
The
I love
stuff from-
Nunu's voice in it.
Yeah, it's adorable. I remember
Yeah.
the line he had about Brahm too. He's like, Brahm's arms must have been really long because I can't reach this.
Yeah. I like even he's like, I pull out my flute. I mean, my sword.
Yeah.
Now, there are actually some quotes of his in-game that do reference this story, too.
Yeah, I saw that.
When they're fighting Krugs, when you encounter him, says, you think the Krugs turned all these people into stone? There's only one way to find out. And then when you kill him, we should go back to the village, Willump. Maybe the curse is lifted.
Yeah, I think he's got another one where he's like, he just mentions it and he was like, we weren't able to help them, but we'll do something this here, or something like that, which is neat.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of callbacks to stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I want to know more about is what is the heart song? Because it's mentioned in other stories even, and it seems to be a really big thing. I like it as a plot device because it's how the fuck is Nunu going to find her in the Freljord? and like having something like that, like I like that as an idea for him to find her. But I just want to know.
Yeah.
I just want to know the mechanics of it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, honestly, I bet we're going to get more of it in the game.
I was going to say,
I bet so too.
I think we'll learn a lot more about his mom because I want to know where she is and what she's doing. Is she also looking for Nunu? Is she dead? I hope not. I hope they didn't fall into
Did she sell him out?
John,
I don't think for a
she
second that
wouldn't.
She sold him out. Not our Leica.
Her grimace? Absolutely not.
This motherfucker stole one too many chicken nuggets, man.
This purple son of a bitch.
Now, Willump is also mentioned in Nar's bio, the missing link.
Were they besties?
They were not besties.
Damn it.
But,
were they lovers?
Damn.
no.
Okay.
So Willump was at the site where the Watchers emerged, and along with many of the Yetis, or as Nar calls them in his bio, the big white Yordles. Along with all them, he was frozen in ice for a very long time. He was just kind of going up to get the Yetis' opinion on something because he knew that they had, you know, smarts and shit, but got kind of stuck in the middle of everything. Also, this is worth mentioning, the teaser cinematic and music video for Ornn is canonically sung by Nunu's mother, Leica.
Yeah. Now,
Path to the Hearth Home.
I love that one.
Yeah, it is real good. Now, I had seen that, and my assumption was like, oh, I bet a rioter said some shit, etc. But it's not. It's actually like referenced in his quotes and shit, which I super love.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, we also mentioned it. I guess to give more specifics, since I do have notes on it here, we mentioned the song that's coming up, or the game that's coming up, rather. It's called Song of Nunu. It's a single-player adventure where you venture into the idyllic but treacherous world of the Freljord as Nunu, a young boy on a quest to find his lost mother. Unearth the secrets, myths, and legends buried deep in the frozen tundra alongside your best friend, a wise and playful Yeti named Willump, and unfold an inspiring story, one puzzle at a time.
Oh, I don't like puzzles. Am I going to be able to play this game?
I don't think it'll be too
You play Zelda games.
rough.
It's probably
Yeah.
Zelda-type puzzles.
That's fair.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was looking at the trailer. It made me think of like a, I don't know, like Ocarina of Time type. There's even like he even sings with his flute and shit. It's like, there you go.
I'm
No problem.
pretty excited. I'm glad I read his bio now too. I don't think I realized how much music was involved in Nunu's bio. I really didn't know jack all about Nunu. I just knew he was a child who rode a Yeti. Now I know why it's called Song of Nunu.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to know about old Nunu?
I really genuinely do.
Do we want to
Now-
talk about, before we
Oh,
move
go
on,
ahead.
do we want to talk about that community collab video at all? Like, is that relevant for this? Because it's...
Yeah, no, we can do that. I had it.
'Cause I think
had
that's
a
the best-
cinematic section, but it's not really like a cinematic. It's kind of like a music video with
I mean, if you wanna
still
do it,
frames
then,
of art of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I fucking love that. I had already seen it before. Like, you had linked it in our our chat, but I had already seen it a million times because I fucking love it. I think of all the stuff that we've gone through for him, that might actually be my favorite because the song is super sweet and the art, all like both those things, the music and the art were not done by writers. They were done by independent like content creators, right?
Right. And oh yeah, it's adorable.
I don't think I watched it.
Oh, you gotta
It's very
fucking
good.
watch.
And it's sung by TJ Brown, which I've never talked about TJ Brown on the podcast or anything, but holy shit, I love TJ Brown's voice. He usually does a cover of the world's anthems each year, and God, they're so fucking good. He's got the
interesting.
voice of a goddamn angel.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, because I had only ever heard him from this, and I think it's great. I guess it makes sense. Like, he's a content creator. I'm sure he has other things, but it's very interesting to me that you've like heard him before and knew who he was. But yeah, the art is great too. I mean, each of the scenes is just completely feeds into what you would expect from like Nunu and Willump adventures. They look like professional like Riot pieces. I was really amazed when I kind of realized like, oh, these weren't done. Like, maybe they advised or helped or something like that, but it's like this separate standalone content creator made them because it's so in line with like the Riot splash aesthetic. I don't know. I thought it was
right. It's like so on brand.
Yes, exactly. I really wish they would link it A on the universe and B put it on the main channel because it's just like such a high quality thing for it to sit in the Riot Games community, whatever side channel is almost like a shame.
Right.
You know?
It's a tragedy. So if you haven't heard the song, you should look it up because it's very, very good. It's
so what should they search?
It's Me and You.
Okay,
is the name of the song
by TJ Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, I just whistle it like constantly, or it just runs through. Like I just hum it. You know, I sing it to my baby at this point.
Aww.
Right? Excuse me.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm. But that's all. I just want to make sure we called it out.
Well, I guess before we dive into the little bit, how do we feel about Nunu's lore? I think we enjoyed it, and we saw more of his mama.
It's cute, and like I think even it is a very good it's a very good foundation upon which I feel like his in-game quotes actually build on a ton. Like it's kind of it's like a Braum situation, except Braum I feel like we wanted more out of his stories, but his quotes were great. But like Nunu's got a great foundation with the stories, and his quotes are great. He kind of nailed it in both areas here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely agree. That's why I was like very excited when I kind of remember, like, I remember they announced this game a while back and it completely left my brain. And then after reading all this, it's like, oh wow, they're great. They're a great pick for a little adventure story because, like you said, this is a great jumping off point. And they've got like a nice, like, relatively small scale thing that they're trying to do too. Like, he just wants to find his mom, and they might get mixed up in something bigger with Lysandra and stuff, but it doesn't feel like, like, even though he is potentially like the savior of all the Freljord, it doesn't feel that big. It still feels very nice and small, and they go on their little adventures, you know. So I liked it.
I'm curious if at the end of the game, Lysandra will be like if he will recognize Lysandra as an enemy, because even at this point in his lore right now, Lysandra's still kind of like
mommy.
Yeah, mommy.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure she is listed as kind of an enemy in the trailer, so I'm curious how that's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seemed like from the little trailer that I watched, the little dev thing, the little cutscene they showed seemed to be kind of confrontational. But that's something I would want, right? Is I want to see what his perspective is on her now, because we get some hints of it from like his quotes, especially, and to see that dynamic change, because it seems like Willump is much more in the know too. From quotes. Yeah,
he was there.
I mean, obviously,
he saw it all.
So it's almost like I wonder if Willump like keeps some of that from him because he doesn't want to grind down. Because like the biggest thing about Nunu is he's full of hope, and he's just like he sees the good in everything, so he doesn't want to completely like squash it out yet. But something's like eventually that will have to happen, right?
Yeah, that's going to be tragic.
Yeah.
Well, we keep talking about the MMO for kicking off a Void event, but I wonder how much of the Void is going to be in this game, if that's what's going to help kick off more of a Void event. Because I'm thinking about the Nunu game and like seeing the footage of it, which was very little. It doesn't look Void stuff at all, but if Lysandra's involved,
I'd be surprised if it showed up, honestly.
Yeah.
I think
they'd probably try to keep the tone light.
Yeah, I think the tone will be light. I think we might have some hints of the Void.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just like some foreshadowing.
I don't think it'll
thing.
be ignored.
Like Vander hung up at the end of Arcane, just like a nod.
Yeah. I think that's you're pretty much on point with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Old lore.
Now there are two versions, and I'm going to go with the oldest one.
Oh, of course.
Where Nunu was a girl.
And that's even older than the one I read.
Right? I was like, I looked at like this is I think technically right before launch. They had released was like the latest version before they launched, and then I think upon launch they changed it.
I wonder if it's because I already had a little girl with Annie.
Maybe.
You
can't
know
have two little girls.
Yeah. I think that's probably a good guess, frankly.
So, as a child, Nunu and her family inhabited the northern fringe of Runeterra's polar region, spending their days ice fishing and huddling for warmth in the desolate landscape. Born with the ability to freeze the very air around her, Nunu became invaluable to her small village as an igloo builder, creating blocks of ice to form the foundations for the village's buildings. One day, as Nunu sat patiently next to her fishing hole, she was startled by a massive starving Yeti that burst from underneath the glacier and collapsed miserably next to her. Feeling pity for the poor shivering beast, Euralis, which for the record, she's referred to interchangeably by Nunu and Euralis throughout early lore, offered the Yeti a fish from her bucket. With wide eyes, the eager Yeti gobbled it down, feeling much better, and the two became fast friends.
Okay, now I'm more convinced that they didn't want her tied to Annie. Like, they didn't...
She, like, shoots close. Ice instead of fire.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Unless they're intentionally, like, putting those stories together as, like, opposite enemies or something, which they clearly didn't want.
Yeah, well, that could have been interesting. What's wild to me is I read 2 other bios that were entirely fucking different. Right? The first one has the Frostguard in it, where they keep like I did it too. They keep Willump like as a pack animal, and Nunu like frees the Willump, and they become friends.
I think that was after his visual rework. That was the first lore rework after his visual one, where they made Willump like the big scary looking Yeti from the comic looking original one.
Weird. Okay, and then the second one, which is when the Institute of War was in place, is that it was almost like a Tarzan thing where Nunu's dad died and Nunu was a little baby and Willump was a little baby, and they grew up together, and then they went off to become the Yeti champion in the fucking Institute of War.
And that was the one I was mentioning before, where the reason the Yetis took him in was because they had made a pact with his father for like safe travel
passage, right?
Yeah.
like he was paying like border guards who are Yetis. He needs his Yeti passport, man. It's just ice. It's just an icicle. Oh man,
it's cheap passage.
Do you think they call that passport the abominable go man?
So you have some cinematics here. Oh no, the Journal of Justice.
Yeah, he's got a JOJ mention.
We got one thing where he shows up. Technically 2, but the other one literally he just shows up to say they're like, we have a question for Anivia, and Nunu was walking with her.
Yes.
Oh wow.
But the real one shows up in issue 5, where Freljord is finally ascending to city-state saddest and is accepted into the League. So previously, their Freljord's borders were acknowledged, and they could request help from the League if they were invaded, but they had no vote in any sort of political matter or no representation. So Ash appoints Nunu as the Freljordian emissary, stating, the city-state of Freljord will never scorn its Yeti brethren, nor any of its citizens, regardless of species, tribe, custom, or affiliation. So Nunu accepted his appointment proudly, and the largest contingent of Yetis ever witnessed by humans was present for Ash's coronation. Nunu stated, in English, which he apparently... Oh, no, Nunu, yeah. Queen Ash is just what we've been looking for. She's got the full support of me and the Yetis, and we're good support to have. I got confused for a second. It's the liquor.
What kind of language would Nunu speak? In this old lore, did he only speak Spanish? All right, anyway.
Yeah. So that's God,
I forget how boring like the political stuff in the Journal
I know,
of Justice
right?
is.
And that's so much of it.
God,
Yeah.
I'm really glad they kind of did away with that.
Yeah, holy crap.
In that article where he was walking with Anivia, they were going to like a meeting of delegates. They were going to like a council meeting.
Jesus.
Also, it's like he's a little baby.
It's like the Star Wars prequels.
I was going to say they took all the worst lessons from the prequels. They're like, okay, so political
Trade
intrigue
disputes.
minus the intrigue. All right.
No, let's take Jar Jar Binks and put him in a council meeting. Oh man.
Now,
I'm really sorry. I just compared Nunu to Jar Jar Binks.
No, I understand. Now, in cinematics, we mentioned it's me and
Misa
you.
Grimace.
We mentioned it's me and you. He also shows up in the Clash of Fates cinematic, where the voiceover saying heroes come in many forms. Some have vision, and then they show Annie, and then like some have grace, and then they show Master Yi, and some have strength, and then they show Nunu.
Nunu is a 8-year-old boy.
Yeah, but he's with Willump.
Yeah, the big Yeti. He looks
Some
strong.
Yeti.
ride Yetis that have strength.
Also, I've watched this trailer a lot now. As I've been rewatching it for the millionth time, at the end where all the champions are lined up on the cliff, if you listen really carefully underneath the narrator, it sounds like they're all talking quietly to each other all at once, like they're mingling at a party or some shit.
I gotta listen to it now. I love that.
It's like they put a bunch of their in-game quotes to play all at the same time to like, I don't know why they did this, but...
Does it sound like, because I'm imagining, the Super Nintendo game All-Stars?
I know, that's exactly what I thought. Like? It sounds exactly like that.
That's great. That was my first
I gotta check
Mario
that out.
game.
And then he showed up in There Will Be Mayhem, the 2016 MSI trailer.
It's a sequel there. There Will Be Blood.
Yep. Now, this might be the most extra MSI trailer I've ever seen. You owe it to yourself to watch it. It's set to a soundtrack of Pentakill playing in the background. It's got Froggen and Clear Love facing off against each other, both looking kind of super bored, but they've got like this, and the animators are going crazy behind them with like ice and fire to make it look like they're doing
I have
cool
seen
shit.
this one. I don't know about this shit.
But it is it's pretty intense and awesome.
Fuck
Damn.
Now, quotes wise, we mentioned it before. This is the one kind of champion that'll give a pass for talking a lot. I know we gave Ash a bunch of shit for like giving us her life story every time you choose her, but that's kind of like that's Nunu's thing. So I give him a pass because he does it too.
He's a little child. They always do that.
And-
Look at this Pokemon, and then they just won't.
And all his quotes give me Aang vibes, so he's cool with me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, Willem has some Appa.
Yeah.
Appa
Appa
vibes
energy?
for sure.
Big Appa energy.
Big Appa. Up indeed.
I like it when you call me Big Appa.
That was
Is that
really
your next
good.
parody, John? I don't even care what his quotes are. That's just gonna be stuck in my head now, and that's all I'm gonna hear.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway,
So he's got a few fun quotes. He's got one that says Willump knows the way, which is a reference to his original quote, which is just the Yeti knows the way. It's a nice little callback to his original VO. He also has a really too real one where he says, old people always doom the world, so it's up to kids to save it. Also, when he encounters Braum, he says, Braum, I knew you were real. Will you be my dad?
I get it, kid. I also want to call him daddy.
He has a bunch of fun like references to like RPGs and having been sent on quests to do the shit that he's doing, which I liked a lot. Like, that old man in the cave asked us to kill exactly 10 raptors. I don't remember why. Like, oh yeah, the old man's gonna make pants out of the raptor's beaks and stuff. I don't know how. Also, he's got a fun quote after he kills the raptors that says, maybe now the wraiths can come home.
Aww. Do you ever call them race by accident?
do
Still?
sometimes.
Okay, it's
I'll
not
call
just
them
me. Okay.
Also, in his, he's got a quote with the World Championship skin where he says, big mistake. Get it? That's a player's name. Mistake was the jungler that year, and he played Nunu.
I thought this was like a Pretty Woman reference.
Oh.
The way you said big mistake. Big
Huge.
mistake. Huge. I've never even seen that movie, honestly. All right. You have 8 million AUs here, and my bedtime's in 25 minutes. So
I'm working on it.
Go.
Also, so there are too many Nunu and Willump bot references to mention because that skin is just an entire
So
voiceover
good.
full of inside jokes. So here are a few favorites. Oh, hi, Mark is one of his.
What?
Anytime he encounters Tryndamere.
That's what
That's
he
like-
said. Oh my god.
That is layered, really.
Yeah.
That is really layered.
That's a The Room reference, in case you didn't know.
and also
And also
Tryndamere
because
was Mark
Tryndamere was
Merrill's
Mark Merrill's name.
name. Okay, yeah.
I have learned the true value of friendship. 43. Which is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. Surprisingly, not 42, but that's probably just because it's just friendship and not the universe and everything.
Oh yeah, sure. Right.
If he ever encounters a Star Guardian, Nunu yells out, "Kawaii desu!" Super excited.
Oh my god.
And he also says, "Can't killian the zillion," which is a classic Crazy Boris reference.
Which we reference a lot. I just remember this skin. So we were at Ryan's house once and he was playing Nunu Bot and just was spamming laugh the whole time. I think that was the first time I'd ever seen someone like spam laugh or taunt or anything. That's how long ago it was. But he was just like, just the whole fucking time. That's great.
All right, AU time, folks.
Let's go. I'm sitting.
First, we got Toy Box. Nar's toy chest is brimming with priceless treasures, but when no one's home, his toys take on a life of their own. And this one is Grungy Nunu. Nar left all his toys out. I wonder what this one's name is. I think I'll call him Willump. What do you think, Willump? Should we go on an adventure? Let's jump in some trash! Now, this skin, if you look up the old splash for it, used to be a shameless ripoff of Oscar the Grouch and Cookie Monster.
Okay, I was going to say there's an old splash for this. It is so good. It's so good, this old splash.
Yeah, I understand why they had to change it.
It was clearly just Cookie Monster and Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah,
Like, not
he's
even.
literally just in a trash can. He's got brown, or he's got the green.
Yeah.
Then we've got Heavy Metal, set in a dystopian world where Riot Corp took over the world, and people fight in companies' corporate-sanctioned rift wars, gladiatorial arenas to survive. Each champion is a futuristic arena fighter. And this is where Nunu and Willump Bot fit in. In the year 20XX, Riot Corp rules the world with a cruel robotic fist, building his own battling best friend using code from a forgotten video game and piles of scrap. A young mechanic competes in the company's corporate-sanctioned rift wars for fame, glory, and tower diving. Next up, we got Rift Quest. Danger lurks in the land of Runeterra. Powerful monsters, dastardly sorcerers, and mythical creatures roam unchecked. Gather your friends and create your own adventure for 3 to 5 players, vanquishing evil with each roll of the die. Do you have what it takes to save the world and become a legend of Rift Quest? And this one's Demolisher, Nunu, and Willump. Serving as soldiers of fortune in pitched battles across the land, Demolisher, Nunu, and Willump are metal as ferro-bonded steel and ready to introduce a flute mace to your face. Now, this one was obviously added after the fact because this just used to be, again, old splash of this was a shameless ripoff of Master Blaster from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
What? I need to look this
Yeah,
up.
I was wondering which skin it was that you were gonna mention. So like, I know that they don't have an actual Rift Quest skin.
Yeah.
I
Doesn't
don't
this
think
one
I've
have Nick
ever
VO?
seen this splash. Okay, so is this the old one?
Yeah.
I've only seen Thunderdome once, so I don't really remember it.
It's like a combination of the Master Blaster aesthetic with like a Willump's looking all juggernauty.
Yeah. That's yes.
Next up we have Folded Edges, which is clearly an AU where the author was checked out and looking around the room for inspiration during a pitch meeting, because this is the lore blurb. Set in a paper world, each champion is made of paper.
Jared
They were
Rose,
having
eat
a
your
fucking
heart.
day, dog. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. You know, sometimes you're put on a deadline.
This one is Papercraft Nunu. One day, Nunu awoke to a world made entirely of paper, with his mother nowhere to be seen. He took a square off the wall, folded it into a wild Willump, and said, "Now we will go find Mom." Willump agreed, and the two embarked upon a grand adventure.
I mean, that's just Nunu, but piece paper.
I
That's
love
Nunu
that.
by
That's
paper.
great. Fucking awesome.
It's like,
Man.
I didn't expect that from the paper craft.
Yeah,
AU.
right?
I didn't realize that. Because you expect that from the Infernal one. They're like, it's all of them are on fire. And you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now, on the other opposite side of the spectrum entirely, we have Space Groove, where this author was fucking feeling themselves when they pitched this shit. In a groovy galaxy a million disco infernos away, a mysterious energy known only as the groove brings music and prosperity to trillions of galactic citizens. But when the alien overlord Lysandra and her army of harsh vibes begin to enslave planets and suppress disco music, a new age of heroes rises to stop her and keep the party groovin'. This one is Space Groove, Nunu and Willump.
Oh.
Yeah. Blessed with the strongest boogie channeling abilities his planet has ever seen, Willump had been recruited by Lysandra to convert good vibes into harsh ones. But when he met Nunu during the siege of Normal World, Willump broke free of Lysandra's control, and the two deserted to travel the galaxy and bring good vibes back to the universe.
Sweet.
Now, he does show up in the cinematic exploration, just kind of in passing, which is still one of my favorite skin trailers. The attention to detail in this to make it look like an 80s anime is so fucking good. The film flicker, the recycled animations, the animation style, the music, it
think I've
is
seen
all
this.
perfect.
It's really good. I highly recommend it.
Next up, we got Fables.
And it's called Exploration.
Yeah, the cinematic is called Exploration. I think it was technically only released in Brazil. I don't think we got it here, but it's on the YouTube.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
yeah.
Which is a fucking shame. I don't know who decided
why
not to
they-
release it here,
yeah.
but
Maybe it was like
big
something
mistake.
that they did.
Huge.
Yeah, maybe it was like call back.
That's humor, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something they did regionally, like just the Brazil office took it upon themselves to make something fucking cool. I don't know.
Well, you fucking nailed it, Brazil.
I'm not seeing it.
Did you look up?
I put League of Legends Exploration.
We'll try Exploration Space Groove.
Okay, is it just Space Groove event trailer?
No.
Try again.
Try again.
You loser. You keep going. It's fine.
All right, next we got Fable, set in a mythological world where each champion represents a mythological god, hero, villain, or creature. And this one is Sasquatch Nunu. Here is a tale told by the softly falling rain to a grove of trees. After helping the guardian of the moss-born forest free his paws from a hunter's trap, a young boy is swept into adventures like a pile of autumn leaves dancing on the wind.
Damn.
It's real poetic-like.
Yeah, that's shit.
Then we got Snowdown Showdown, set around the mythos and
yeah.
festivals of Runeterra's time of Snowdown and real-world winter holiday festivals, most notable one being Christmas. All of the champion skins were inspired by these regional or festive cultures, and this encompasses 3 skin lines: Snow Day, Snowdown Showdown, and Winter Wonder. And this is in the Snowdown Showdown one. This one's Workshop Nunu and Willump. While the sight of a holiday Yeti and his small elf companion may seem frightening, there's no gentler pair than Willump and Nunu. Nunu builds the toys, while Willump accidentally crushes them with his inhuman strength. Seems like a very bad partnership. And we got Harrowing, which is Zombie Nunu. What was once a pair of young friends has been twisted by a virus unwittingly loosed upon the world, transforming them into a slavering parasitic time bomb packed with enough raw mutagen to infect every survivor 5 times over. Whoever they were before is lost now, another casualty of a world gone mad.
Shit.
It's dark.
That is really.
It's dark.
And then we got bees. Set in a world where champions are bees, dressed as bees or beekeepers.
That was so dark. Bees.
Bees?
Beads.
And we got Nunu and Willump.
Shut the fuck up.
They're like two bees in a pod. In a hive. And then he also has a TPA skin. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I got nothing.
It's you know what? Why say in 50 words what you could not say in 10? And then we have TPA Nunu Willump, which doesn't have any lore, but just a fun fact. Our old roommate did the skin line splash art for this. So, you know, that's neat.
Cool.
And finally, fun fact time.
Let's go.
Original Nunu was voiced by Christina Melizia, who also voices Amumu and Annie.
Damn.
And then the original Willump was voiced by Brian Summer, who voices Tryndamere Warwick and Warwick the Blood Hunter, which I think was old Warwick too. And then Nunu and Nunubot currently are voiced by Lucas J.
So many voices.
And we mentioned it before, but one of the goals of the Nunu and Willump rework was to give them the saddest death animation in the game.
Oh my god.
Pretty fun.
Which-
They succeeded.
Yeah, they did a real good job. That one, and Dragon Trainer
I was gonna say.
Tristana are heartbreakers.
When we get to her, we'll figure out which one's worse.
I don't pay enough attention because, like, you've died and I'm moving
Yeah.
on, you know?
Yeah,
You
she
see it
doesn't
so many
have
times,
text
you know.
in hers. I think
that's
is the
the
big
thing.
thing.
That's it, Mark. You're right. I just see it so often.
Yeah.
When
Damn.
I'm playing with John.
Anywho,
No, in fact, I don't see it because he's jumped in and I'm not even fucking there yet.
yeah, I'm in the fog of war
dead.
somehow.
No, I meant the Nunu one. I meant the Nunu one because you kill the people who come to gank you.
Oh, yeah.
Every sound Willem makes in game has been translated into human words so that the voice actor would know exactly what inflections to put on the sound.
That's amazing.
Smart.
That's smart. Yeah.
One of the scrapped narrative pitches during development involved Nunu and Willump as part of a traveling circus troupe who secretly found and hid artifacts from Lysandra. However, the Frost Guard found out and slaughtered the tribe, but not before Nunu stole a shard of ice which he uses to create infinite snowballs.
I love that.
I like the circus part. I don't know about like
Yeah,
killing
yeah, yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
but the circus
Yeah,
part. I
yeah,
love.
yeah. I want the circus to still be alive.
Yeah,
You know?
that'd be neat. Not
like-
enough circus performers
I was
in
gonna
League.
say I'd love like a traveling like theater troupe champion. you
Yeah,
Maybe
we need like the
Shaco.
what's her name, Kylie. We need
Oh.
them.
know? More Avatar references.
More Avatar references.
Oh fuck yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Tylee.
Yeah. That's what threw me
Kylie.
off.
There was Tylee and then Kai. They were two separate people. I combined them. I'm sorry.
Kylie. That's her ship name.
That's her ship name.
Probably.
Nunu suggests that Willump's favorite foods are roasted Raptosaurus, pollywog pudding, egg popsicles, rocks, more rocks, and bloblets. And
Yum.
Willump wouldn't eat human foods because they do not provide magic or arcane power.
I mean, he's not wrong. Maybe he'll eat Hextech crystals.
He likes rocks, might as well.
Yeah.
We'll go to Piltover and just eat all those.
Although yeah, he seems like in tune with like the earth. I feel like that might be horrifying for him,
Oh,
actually.
true. You're right.
Nunu's 8 years old, while Willump is much older. Possibly as old as the three sisters.
Yeah, I was laughing about that when I was reading about Nunu. I was like, well, finally a champion that's not 8 million years old. Oh no, Willump is.
So we mentioned his flute and like how he thought it was a sword. He called it Svelsonger, which is Old Norse for swell singer.
Yeah.
Nunu was named after Steve Ginsu-Feek's dog.
Oh.
Oh. Wow. Damn.
In the one of the old April Fool's Day patch, he was jokingly listed to have received a skin called Noonerf, referencing old school Earth.
That's great.
Never got released, though.
Oh.
Tragedy. Nunu and Willump drop a soul each for those champions like Senna and Thresh that eat souls.
Oh,
That's two
shit,
souls.
cool. I like that.
Nunu has brown eyes in his artwork, but his eyes in-game are green. Get your shit together, right?
Who the fuck notices this shit?
Unplayable.
In Nunu and Willump bot, Willump is actually an acronym for Work Frame Integrated Lossless Lifeform uploaded mainly for punching.
Wow.
And their joke creates a holographic projection of old Nunu bot.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
I
great.
have seen that.
And finally, while not directly sharing a splash art with Papercraft and Ivia, the Papercraft Nunu and Willump, their splash arts can be joined together to make one larger image.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I like when they do that.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
That was
That's all, folks.
Good shit.
Hey. Have we any final thoughts? It was good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to be
Yeah.
back, and this was a good one to come back on. I'm a huge fan of Nunu and Willump. I actually knew nothing about them going into this because I knew their old lore, but I didn't know any of the new lore. So it was fun to get into. It was a fun read. He's fucking adorable. The quotes are good. Everything's good here, folks.
Yeah. I mean, my personal opinion, I think this may be the best rework that Riot ever did.
Yeah.
At least from like a thematic perspective. Gameplay wise, I don't know. But God, he's so
Didn't
much
play Nunu
like,
before. Don't play him now. But
he's just so much better in terms of like, just goddamn, it's like from 0 to 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, like soul for sure. Yeah, I also liked it. Tons of fun to be back. Like you said, we can get back into a regular thing. I will say one thing that I would like to see is playing with the idea that Willump can change his form. I would love to see Willump get separated and captured by the Frost Guard and turned back into a monster, and Nunu has to save him and change him back.
That'd be
And
great.
that would be great for the game, honestly. The two of them
Yeah.
getting separated for a little bit of the game, and then when you find Willump again, he's not Willump. He's changed.
yeah, and it'd be like,
I love this.
and he'll be like, and Nunu's like heart, like his hope will like pierce on
Oh,
through.
no.
Yeah, it'd be
I'll
heartbreaking.
save you, Willump.
Yeah, yes. So please do that, Riot. Make me sad.
I know you're probably pretty late into development, but if you could...
Just add that to the game right quick. God, we're going to get a message that the game's been delayed, and we'll be like, it was all Mark.
it was a great idea.
Yeah. They had to delay it because we're just so fucking good at our job. All right. Well, it does feel like we're back a little bit. You know, we might have some bumps here and there, hiccups when it comes to me editing episodes and us getting together. You know, babbies, they're unpredictable. But that was Nunu.
That was Nunu.
That was Nunu. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience and listening to mine and John's weird solo episodes or duo episodes without Mark.
Holding down the fort.
Our little
Absolute
fucking side project bullshit.
unhinged energy when Mark's not here. We really need you to ground us. Okay, we have a Twitter. It's at Loreheads. We also have a Twitch, twitch.tv/Loreheads. John streams Saturdays. Every other week he does TFT and an indie game. I stream at some day during the week. It was supposed to be Mondays, but it's not going to be consistent. I don't know, but I'm going to try to stream once a week. It will be League, probably in the evening on our time, EST, and John will try to join for a game or two at the end there once our daughter is sleeping. We have a YouTube as well, and we post the episodes there, and John has some parody songs. Maybe you'll have I love it when you call me Big Appa. No, that's not League of Legends related. I guess we can't have that.
Right.
I love it when you call me Big Nunu.
It flows. It's perfect.
I love it when you call me Big Nunu. It'd be Willump though. Anyway,
It would be.
we also have a Discord. We chat in there a lot. John's there a lot, but if you tag or at me or Mark, we'll pop in. There's a link to that in the description of this episode, and it's pinned on our Twitter. And we have a Patreon as well. Hopefully we have some more bonus content soon. I think we were just talking about Silent Hill, which would be really fun. Like the movie, not the games. The Silent Hill movies. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda and All Chat tier patrons, Chloe Things, Kindred Enjoyer, King of Hearts, Mylect, Rel, Schupa and Techno Robert. If you were lost in the Freljord and it was just up to me and my Yeti buddy to find you, I'd do it. I wouldn't waste time with fucking snowball fights.
Wow.
Not to call you out, Nunu.
Damn. Son.
But I hate fun, so.
Oh yeah, that is John.
Notable
Old Johnny
fun
D
hater.
hates fun. That's what I wrote.
Old man D.
All right, that's it. Thank you. Join us next week.
Also, if you happen to have a chance, we would love if you could either rate the podcast or like write a review,
On,
which I
like,
think you can
Apple
only do
Pod.
on Apple Pod for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know why the fuck they're like the only one that lets you do that. But you know, if you have a minute and you wouldn't mind, that'd be awesome.
Super helpful.
It helps with algorithms and shit. And
Same with the
you know?
YouTube. If you could subscribe to the YouTube, super helpful.
We'll have to bring more people into the fold.
Yeah. Come into our folds.
Oh God. Hide in your crevices.
I'm so sorry. Please join us next. Please, for the love of God, please keep listening to this podcast. Because we're going to talk about the Berserker Olaf.